What if the secret to staying rich in retirement isn't about making more money? It's about stopping the purchases that quietly drain it. Most people are buying things they think they need after 60, but millionaires figured out the truth decades ago. Stay with me till the end, because number 7 might be the one thing standing between you and a retirement that actually lasts. Number 1. Luxury upgrades they no longer need to impress anyone. Let's start with something that might surprise you. When most people hit retirement, they finally feel like it's their time. Time to upgrade. Time to reward themselves. A bigger house. A fancier car. The luxury vacation package. The business class seat. After all, they worked for 40 years. Don't they deserve it? And here's the thing. Wealthy retirees could buy all of that. Easily. But they don't. Not because they're cheap. Not because they don't enjoy life. But because somewhere along the way, they made a quiet but powerful shift in mindset. They stopped buying things to impress other people and started spending only on things that genuinely made their own life better. There's actually a term for this in behavioral economics. It's called status spending. And study after study shows that the more wealth a person accumulates, the less they engage in it. Because they've realized something most people never do. Nobody is actually watching as closely as you think. Your neighbors aren't tracking your car model. Your friends aren't calculating your watch brand. And even if they were, it wouldn't add a single dollar to your retirement account or a single hour of peace to your life. Wealthy retirees stop trying to look rich because they're too busy being rich. They downsize houses not out of necessity, but out of choice, because a smaller home means lower maintenance, lower taxes, lower stress, and more freedom. They drive reliable cars instead of luxury ones because they understand that a car is a depreciating asset, not a trophy. They fly economy on short flights and don't lose a minute of sleep over it. This one shift, letting go of status purchases, often saves wealthy retirees anywhere between $15,000 to $40,000 per year. Not because they're sacrificing, but because they've simply outgrown the need for external validation. And that money? It gets quietly redirected into investments, experiences, and the people they love. Number 2. Extended warranties and overpriced insurance plans. Here's one that the wealthy figured out, and the financial industry hopes you never do. Walk into any electronics store, buy a television, a laptop, or even a small kitchen appliance. And before you can blink, the salesperson smiles and says, "Would you like to add the extended warranty for just a few dollars more?" It sounds reasonable. It sounds responsible. It sounds like exactly the kind of thing a smart, careful person would do. But wealthy retirees almost universally say no. And their reasoning is backed by hard data. Extended warranties are, statistically, one of the worst financial products ever sold to the average consumer. Retailers and manufacturers make enormous profit margins on them, sometimes 50 to 80% pure profit. That alone tells you something. If these warranties were genuinely a good deal for the buyer, companies wouldn't be pushing them so aggressively at every checkout counter and online cart page. The math is simple. Most products either fail within the manufacturer's original warranty period, which already covers you, or they last for years without any issue at all. The window where an extended warranty would actually pay off is surprisingly narrow. And even then, the claims process is often so complicated, so full of fine print and exclusions, that many people never successfully collect. Wealthy retirees understand something called self-insurance. Instead of paying a company to cover potential losses, they set aside a small emergency fund specifically for repairs and replacements. That money stays in their pocket, growing, earning, until it's actually needed. And more often than not, it's never needed at all. The same logic applies to overpriced supplemental insurance plans that pile coverage on top of coverage. Wealthy retirees review their policies carefully. They keep what genuinely protects them. They cut everything else without hesitation. The result? Thousands saved every single year on products designed to profit from financial anxiety rather than serve the buyer's actual interests. Number 3. Convenience foods and mindless grocery spending. Now this one might feel small on the surface, but stay with me, because the numbers tell a completely different story. Most retirees have more time than they've had in decades. No morning rush. No packed lunch thrown together at 6 a.m. No drive-through dinner because there simply wasn't a moment left in the day to cook. Retirement, by definition, gives people time. And yet, grocery bills for many retirees are somehow higher than when they were working full-time. Why? Because the habits built during busy working years don't automatically disappear. Prepackaged meals, pre-cut vegetables, individual serving snack packs, branded convenience items that cost 3 times more than their simple, whole food alternatives. Premium delivery fees for groceries that could have been picked up in a 20-minute trip. These small, invisible expenses stack on top of each other every single week. And by the end of the month, most people have no idea how much they actually spent or where it went. Wealthy retirees treat grocery shopping differently. They treat it like a system, not a spontaneous daily decision. They plan their meals for the week before they ever set foot in a store. They make a list and they stick to it, not rigidly, but intentionally. They buy whole ingredients instead of pre-assembled convenience versions. A bag of rice, a dozen eggs, fresh vegetables, quality proteins, simple, real food that costs a fraction of the packaged alternatives and is almost always healthier. They cook in batches, they use leftovers strategically, and they genuinely enjoy the process because for the first time in years, they have the time to. Here's a number that might shock you. The average American household wastes approximately $1,500 worth of food every single year. For retirees living on a fixed income, that number is not just wasteful, it's genuinely damaging. Wealthy retirees track this. They notice when produce is sitting too long. They reorganize their fridge so older items get used first. They freeze what they can't finish. These aren't extreme couponing habits. They're simply intentional habits. And the savings compound quickly. Cutting mindless grocery spending and food waste alone can free up $200 to $400 every single month. Money that stays in a retirement account, earning interest, building security. But it goes beyond just groceries. Wealthy retirees also dramatically cut back on eating out. Not entirely, because food and experience still matter, but they become selective. A meaningful dinner with family once a week? Absolutely. A random Tuesday takeout order because nobody felt like cooking? Gone. They stopped spending casually and started spending consciously. And that one shift changes everything. Because here's what most people miss. It was never really about the food. It was about the habit of reaching for the easy, expensive option without thinking. Wealthy retirees broke that habit. And in doing so, they quietly kept thousands of dollars every year that most retirees never even realized they were losing. Number 4. Subscriptions they forgot they were even paying for. If there is one money leak that financial advisors talk about more than almost anything else right now, it is this one dot, and it is bleeding people dry in the most invisible way possible. Think about how many subscriptions you currently have. Not the ones you remember and use regularly. The other ones. The streaming service you signed up for during a free trial and forgot to cancel. The meditation app that sent a renewal charge 3 months ago. The cloud storage plan that auto-renewed at a higher price than last year. The magazine subscription from 2021 that you haven't opened since. The premium membership for a software tool you used twice and never returned to. Most people, when asked to guess how much they spend on subscriptions monthly, underestimate by 300 to 500%. Studies have shown that the average person believes they spend around $80 per month on subscriptions, when the real number is closer to $200 to $300. And for retirees who signed up for services during working years and simply never audited them, the number can be even higher. Wealthy retirees do something most people never bother to do. They schedule a subscription audit every 6 months. They go through every bank statement and credit card charge line by line, and they ask one simple question about every single charge they find. Did I use this in the last 30 days? And is it genuinely improving my life? If the answer is no to either part of that question, it gets canceled. Immediately. No hesitation. No, I'll get around to it. Right then. This habit alone has saved some retirees $300 to $600 every single month. Not through sacrifice, but through simple awareness. Because the brutal truth about subscriptions is that companies design them specifically to be forgotten. The auto-renewal is not a convenience for you. It is a revenue strategy for them. The free trial that requires a credit card is not generosity. It is a calculated bet that you will forget to cancel. Every friction point in the cancellation process is intentional. They are counting on your inertia. They are profiting from your busy life and your distracted attention. Wealthy retirees refuse to be that statistic. They also apply this same discipline to gym memberships they pay for but rarely use, club memberships that carry annual fees for benefits they stopped needing, loyalty programs with hidden monthly charges buried in the fine print. Number 5. Financial products that promise returns but deliver fees. This one is personal for a lot of people, and it is also one of the most important points in this entire video. When people approach retirement, something interesting happens in the financial world. Suddenly, advisors appear. Offers arrive. Complicated products get presented across polished desks in expensive offices. Annuities. Whole life insurance policies marketed as investment vehicles. Actively managed mutual funds with impressive-sounding names and fine print full of annual fees. Variable rate products tied to market performance, but loaded with hidden charges that quietly eat into returns year after year. And here is what makes this so dangerous. These products are not sold to unintelligent people. They are sold to trusting people. People who worked hard their entire lives, accumulated real savings, and now simply want someone to help them protect it. The language used is reassuring. The projections shown are optimistic. The fees, and there are always fees, are buried deep in documents that most people sign without fully reading. Wealthy retirees have learned, sometimes the hard way, to ask one ruthless question before touching any financial product. What are all the fees, and who benefits most from this arrangement? A financial advisor who earns commission on what they sell you has a fundamentally different incentive than one who charges a flat fee for honest advice. An actively managed fund that charges 1.5% annually sounds small, until you realize that over 20 years, that fee can consume 30 to 40% of your total potential returns. Index funds, by comparison, often charge less than 0.1%. The difference is staggering, and most average investors never see it clearly because it happens slowly, silently, percentage point by percentage point, year after year. Wealthy retirees also stay far away from products that sound too good to be true, because in finance, they almost always are. Guaranteed high returns with no risk. Exclusive investment opportunities available only to a select few. Complex structured products that require a 40-page document to explain how they work. If a financial product cannot be explained clearly and simply in under 2 minutes, wealthy retirees walk away. Not because they lack sophistication, but because genuine sophistication taught them that complexity in finance almost always serves the seller, not the buyer. They simplify. They consolidate. They move toward transparent, low-cost investment vehicles, index funds, treasury bonds, diversified ETFs, products where the fee structure is clear, the strategy is understandable, and the long-term performance data actually supports the approach. And they find advisors who are legally bound to act in their interest, fiduciary advisors, rather than advisors who are simply required to recommend products that are suitable. That one-word difference, fiduciary versus suitable, can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a retirement. Here is the bottom line on this point. The financial industry is enormous, sophisticated, and extraordinarily good at separating retirees from their savings through products that feel protective but function as profit centers. Wealthy retirees figured this out. They stopped buying complexity. They stopped paying for underperformance. They stopped trusting a polished presentation over a transparent fee schedule. They kept their money simple, and their returns grew because of it. Because at the end of the day, the best financial product is almost always the one with the lowest fees, the clearest structure, and the longest track record of boring, consistent, compounding growth. Wealthy retirees are not chasing excitement in their portfolios. They are chasing security, and they found it by eliminating the products designed to profit from their fear rather than serve their future. Number 6. Giving money away without a strategy. Now, before anything else, this point is not about being selfish. It is not about closing your heart to the people you love. Wealthy retirees are often incredibly generous people. But there is a profound difference between generous giving and unstructured giving, and that difference can determine whether your retirement lasts or quietly falls apart. Here is a scenario that plays out in countless families every single year. A retiree works hard their entire life. They save carefully. They build a comfortable nest egg. And then retirement arrives, and so do the requests. A grown child needs help with a down payment. A grandchild's tuition comes up short. A family member hits a financial crisis and turns to the person they know is stable. A friend asks for a loan that both of you know will never really be repaid. And because this retiree is a good person, a loving parent, a loyal friend, a generous human being, they say yes. Again and again and again. And 5 years into retirement, the numbers stop working. This is not rare. Financial planners see this pattern constantly. Wealthy retirees love deeply, but they have learned to give strategically rather than reactively. They do not say no to generosity. They say no to unplanned generosity that quietly dismantles everything they spent decades building. Here is how wealthy retirees approach giving differently. First, they decide in advance exactly how much they are willing and able to give every year. Not based on who asks or how urgent the request feels in the moment. Based on cold, clear numbers. They look at their retirement income, their projected expenses, their long-term security needs, and they carve out a specific giving budget. When that budget is used, it is used. The answer is not yes or no based on emotion. It is yes or no based on a plan that was made before any request ever arrived. Second, they learn the difference between helping someone and enabling someone. A one-time gift that genuinely solves a problem is love. A pattern of repeated financial rescues that removes all consequences and all motivation for the other person to build their own stability. That is not love. That is anxiety wearing the mask of generosity. Wealthy retirees are honest enough with themselves to know the difference and strong enough to act on it. Third, they use structured tools for giving. Rather than handing over cash in moments of emotional pressure, they set up education savings accounts for grandchildren. They make planned, documented gifts that fit within annual tax-free gifting limits. They include giving in their estate plan so that their generosity continues intentionally long after they are gone, without ever compromising their own financial security while they are alive. And here is perhaps the most important thing wealthy retirees understand about this point. You cannot pour from an empty account. The single most financially destructive thing a retiree can do for the people they love is to give so much, so unplanned, so emotionally, that they eventually become a financial burden themselves. The greatest gift a parent can give their children in retirement is to never need to be rescued by them. That security, that independence, is worth more than any amount handed over in a moment of crisis. Wealthy retirees protect their finances not out of selfishness, but out of the deepest kind of love. The kind that thinks long-term. The kind that says, I will be here, stable and secure, for every person I care about, for as long as I possibly can. Number 7. Buying brand new cars every few years. Wealthy retirees never fall into the new car trap. A brand new car loses 20 to 30% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. They buy reliable, 2 to 3 year old certified used vehicles instead. Same comfort, same features, fraction of the price. A car gets you from A to B. It is not an identity statement anymore. Number 8. And used gym memberships and wellness gimmicks. Expensive gym memberships, miracle supplement packages, overpriced wellness gadgets. Wealthy retirees cut all of it. They stay healthy through walking, home workouts, and simple nutrition habits that cost almost nothing. They invest in genuine health, regular checkups, quality food, consistent movement, not in monthly fees for equipment they rarely use. Number 9. Impulse travel upgrades. Wealthy retirees love to travel, but they plan smart. Last-minute flight upgrades, overpriced hotel room upgrades at checkout, expensive tourist trap restaurants right next to landmarks. These are all impulse decisions that double the cost of any trip. They book early, research deeply, eat where locals eat, and enjoy the exact same experience for sometimes half the price. Number 10. Keeping up with technology unnecessarily. Every year, a new phone. Every 2 years, a new laptop. Every upgrade cycle, a new tablet. Wealthy retirees simply ask, is what I have still working? If yes, they keep it. They are not impressed by the latest model. They are impressed by a growing bank balance. Technology is a tool, not a hobby, and they treat it exactly that way.